DiCarlo Religious Supplies has been providing liturgical items to the Christian faithful across Canada for years. And among their many clients is the Archdiocese of Toronto, which was involved in a once-in-a-lifetime restoration project for its mother church, St. Michael's Cathedral Basilica. Part of this restoration was a focus on the art that adorns both the exterior and interior of the cathedral. And this just happens to be one of the things at which DiCarlo excels. Though the list of items was long, there was no hesitation by DiCarlo on how to fulfill this order.
So these are the custom statues that we're doing. There's 3 different mediums that have been approved. We have custom carved wood, we have bronze with 24 karat gold highlights, and then we have custom limestone for exterior.
It began with the creation of the incredible exterior stone statues. The stonework was concluded with a beautiful statue of St. Michael himself that was placed above the main entrance of the cathedral to greet all visitors to this Toronto landmark.
O God, source of all grace and holiness, look kindly on your servants who have erected this statue of St. Michael, Archangel, to defend us from Satan and the powers of evil.
Aside from the locally sourced stonework, a number of additional pieces of art and statuary were planned for inside the cathedral. To fulfill this order, Sal DiCarlo connected with a longtime associate from a picturesque community in northern Italy.
The Metz Studios is world-renowned carvers. They are responsible for pieces throughout the whole globe. They will do a 6-inch statue to a 200-foot statue. They are what would be considered one of the top carvers in the world.
Phone calls and emails are the way of the world nowadays, but on jobs this significant, a personal touch is required, and the DiCarlo team will always go that extra mile.
We're going to Italy tomorrow to studios in Ortisei. Ortisei is a town that is known for wood carving for centuries and centuries, and now to be part of it is the greatest feeling.
Reto and Anya de Metz are the latest in a long line of de Metz family members to be involved in the statuary trade.
This is the Val Gardena. We're situated in the heart of the Dolomite Mountains. Originally, they were all farmers living high up in the mountains, and the long winters they had to figure out what they would do, and many of them started carving. The children would assemble the little dolls and toys that they were producing, and the women would decorate them with color, mainly toys at that time, but then also little statuaries for devotional use at home.
It's a tradition to work in this statuary business. For us, I would be the 5th generation in this field. After the Second World War, there was so much to being rebuilt. My dad turned it into the church goods field more, going away from the gift shop.
It's a tradition that gets passed on by father to son. So they would attend an art school as well, but they would be trained mainly by a master.
We've worked very closely with the design process of it, going back and forth with Father Bush and as part of the committee as well. Father Bush will say that I like this particular subject, so then our job here at DiCarlo is to present that to the Metz and make them understand this is the way the client would like to see this particular subject.
Visiting Ortisei was the perfect opportunity to learn firsthand the particular components of this age-old tradition. There is invaluable insight gained by witnessing the process of creating these beautiful pieces of art that will adorn the Cathedral Basilica for generations to come. Being able to see a clay bozzetto and fully absorb the look of the statue is essential to make final decisions on the aesthetics of the piece. Because once the wood carving process begins, there's no looking back.
The crozier was in the crook of his arm.
Oh yeah.
You came back with this one, and I still want the crozier in.
Yes.
So I do the crozier in where it should be.
With the advancement and capabilities of today's technologies, intelligent machinery and 3D printing, it's easy to forget that beautiful things can still be created by hand. There is no substitute for the attention to detail and incredible craftsmanship of these talented artists.
You have a complete appreciation for it. To see it completed, you don't understand the whole history, the depth of it, even to learn some of the stories of the actual artisans themselves, telling us that he is the third generation carver and he learned from his great-grandfather. You know, you can't read a book about that. You have to actually go and feel that.
Joining these amazing wood statues in the cathedral are also bronze pieces. And if you want to witness a process rich in tradition and practiced essentially unchanged from centuries ago, this is it. The bronze casting process begins by creating a wax mold of the original sculpture, and then building a clay encasement around it. The encasement is left to dry in the sun and then baked in a kiln, melting the wax within. And finally, molten bronze is poured into the encasement. And after cooling, you are left with an exact replica of the original work of art. The trip culminates in a visit to Rome and a moment to absorb the power of religious art in our lives.
This experience has been great. It's been an opportunity that I could not miss. To be here with Father Michael, words cannot really describe that. For myself personally, my company, it's been absolutely incredible to now further cement our experiences, our knowledge to better serve someone else coming on a new project.
Months go by, and renovations on the cathedral are thankfully proceeding on schedule. The statues arrive at the DiCarlo warehouse.
When we saw them in Italy, they were still small, very small sort of clay sculptures. They hadn't actually been started. And then I saw pictures coming from Italy of how they were progressing. But this is the first time I've seen them completely done and polished. And, I mean, it's an amazing job. As I said, I'm excited here, but when I see them in place, that's when I'll really be.
And then, finally, they are delivered to St. Michael's, where they'll join an existing collection of already supplied DiCarlo masterpieces.
Wow, at last.
Finally all together. You can imagine all this in pieces and diagrams, but when it's in here, it's complete.
It helps me going forward to understand how a process is done, to be part of that, to absorb the whole culture, going to the field itself. It was very rewarding.